And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's The Plague, week 45 of the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. He's a comedian, podcaster, and owner, probably, of the lunchbox you had when you were 10. It's Ken Reid. And she's a comedian and host of the new podcast, My Pandemic Makeover Spectacular, where she attempts to reinvent herself. Will she succeed? I don't know, but she has trademarked the phrase, "Can I pet your goldfish?" It's Renee Colvert. Tone Zone is here to cancel your pillow. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little biscuits and gravy. Welcome to another exciting Thursday show of the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by Becky Milner. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. You get bonus episodes every week, or at least 3 of the 4 weeks. I just had Arden Marine on. We answered a lot of your questions. We talked about a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of hot gossip. I can't remember what any of it is right now, but I'm sure it was hot and I'm sure it was gossipy and I'm sure we named names. And Zoom parties, fun stuff. This is my hard sell. You'll probably hear it again. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I would like to say hello to my guests. Very excited about this show. I'm feeling good. I said I was going to say hello, but I just want to point out to the people who are seeing this episode on Patreon, that's one of the perks. You can watch this. Patreon. I have a new webcam. And it's bumping me a little bit because I'm worried that there's going to be a lag between me and seeing myself, the myself that I'm seeing. And then if that happens, it will totally distract me, like a visual echo. But as of now, I think we're still synced. I'm moving around. It feels okay. Ken Reid, hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Nice to be back.
How's it going?
You know, it's going. We're almost a year in here. Still haven't left the house.
I have some things to say about that. We'll get into that in a little while. Some things to say about being around the same people in the same location for nearly a year and how it is making me bonkers. Renee Colvert, hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Oh, good. Just never better.
Yeah, right?
Isn't that truly the most offensive? It now seems like one of those things that you're not allowed to say, but you keep catching yourself accidentally saying it.
Saying that you're good?
I do that all the time. Yeah, or how are you to people.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, sorry.
What are we supposed to say right now?
I think "how are you" is still better than "what's new" because there's kind of never anything new.
I think we should come up with something else and be like, "What the fuck, huh?"
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that could land.
That's good.
That could be pretty good.
Or if
How
you're in
bad
mixed-
is it?
Yeah, if you're in mixed company, it could just be right.
Oh,
sure.
that's good. But only if you're in mixed company?
Yeah, because you don't want to swear in front of kids.
Right.
Oh, that's the mix. I thought you meant like
Racially?
multiple genders.
Sure. Well,
yes.
let me try it out. Will you do a redo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, now what do I say though to lead you into it?
Just Renee, hello.
Hey, Renee.
Right?
let me try it the more profane way. Okay, so Renee Colvert, what the fuck, right?
What the fuck, right?
That felt pretty good.
I feel like we're on the same page there. Okay.
That's a good one.
And with us, as always, Tony Thaxton, what the fuck, right?
Oh, right. I mean, come on. Are we serious?
Are we doing this? Are we going to do that? I don't think we should do that. That's where we draw the line. Anyway, lots of stuff to get into. Tony, I know that you had some kerfuffle before we started, and we debated whether we were going to discuss before or on air, and then we all decided you would do it live. So who knows anything could come out of your mouth right now. You could get canceled. I don't know.
Yeah. It's I texted you like an hour ago or something, and I said that there was something I wanted to talk about that I'd been putting off, and then I had some news, and then chaos happened after that. And so if you want to get into this now, I'm gonna be dominating the show for a few minutes. So just letting that be known.
I don't know
before
that
it all
that's
goes in.
dominating the show. I feel like that's more like just talking a little bit. Because if you think about it, the four of us each dominate the show for a few minutes.
True.
That's true,
repeatedly.
but
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was like
this
a
is-
weird calling your pool shot. You're like, I plan to dominate this show.
But then he's like, for a few minutes.
Just for a bit.
Well,
just for a little bit.
It's okay.
Much longer than I normally would go on for, I feel like, because there are several parts to all of this. So shall you want me to get right into it?
Yeah,
Do
I feel like
it.
you're asking us
Yeah,
out.
do it.
Like that's
Let's
how
do
it would go.
Let's do it.
Well, I just want to let me just share that
Yeah.
Tony said that he was up from talking about that other thing that we may get to, it sounds like. But then he said, also, I have news. And then a panic shot through me, which is weird. It was as if my wife said, can we talk later? And I said, news for the show or for moi? And then I did not get a response. And then I told myself, chill out. It's probably not, I don't know like what it was I was worried. Like, I feel like I have news could be a thing you say on text before giving someone bad news. But then
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not bad news.
that's not that. I'm reading something
Right.
negative into this. It's fine.
Tony's
Listen,
not
I do
pregnant.
that all the time too. I always think I have news is about me. Never
Yeah.
once has it been.
I
Ever.
know.
Almost always, if somebody says I have news, like, what's going to be about you?
Right.
Okay. All right.
This, it reminds me a little bit. I'm going to dominate the show for like a minute. This girl, Lisa, who lived briefly up the street from me, who I always, growing up, I always wanted to have friends who lived within walking distance, like up the block or in the little area where my parents live. Very rarely was there anyone young who lived there, but for moments in time. So Lisa, who lived up the street, we were very young. I'm going to say like 5 or 6. She told me that she had now, my memory, she had a present for me, but maybe what she said is, I have a surprise for you, but I heard it as a present for me. And so I sat like on her bed waiting for my present. And then she came out in a fancy ruffly dress. I was like, this is the surprise for me? This
Well,
is
now
nothing.
you just gave mine away too.
Oh, no, Tony, you got to go change. I'm
It
sorry.
looked nice. I didn't think you could pull pink
It's
off,
good.
but I think the
Yeah.
taffeta
It's
helped.
pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anyway, I'm just saying, maybe I'm still that person who thinks it's all about me. Okay, let's hear it, Tony. I'm giving you the
All right.
reins.
All right. Well, this, like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a ride here. So
I'm buckle in, guys.
okay.
Buckling in.
So this starts off with a little bit of a bummer, and this is something that I had been putting off talking about. I didn't want to talk about this for a while because it was not easy to talk about. And then finally, a few people have started asking me some questions here and there. Some people had started noticing that regular listeners know for a while back I adopted Moose, the dog, and she was great. And when it was just me and her, things were great, very friendly and just mellow. And then had a few, literally 2 different occasions where I saw a friend outside. She attacked 2 of my friend's dogs at like 2 scary levels. And one of them was to the point that it was a puppy. And if I had not broken it up, I'm pretty sure she was going to kill that puppy because she would not let go. And it was terrifying. It was traumatizing. It really sucked. Both of those dogs went to the ER. Thankfully, they are okay. I also went to the ER that night when I broke them up because my hand got just crazily fucked up from breaking up a pit bull who was very strong. So after dealing with that, I sat with it for a while, and it was a very tough decision. But, I got a dog to not be alone during this time. Well, in general, I like dogs anyways, but I wanted something to kind of have a friend during this to help, the depression, stress and anxiety and all that. And this then, because of what had happened, it kind of just led to a lot of stress and anxiety. It got to the point where I just was scared to even take her on walks because I was scared of off-leash dogs coming up because that had happened in the past. And it was a tough decision. And so a couple of months ago, I ended up giving her up. Somebody that worked at the rescue that I had gotten her from said that they would take her and foster her until they could find a permanent home for her.
But I'm seeing a new guy back there.
Yeah. What's so funny is the surprise that you have thought it was his entrance. It was like, sorry, I thought that was my cue. That was my cue.
Damn it.
I'm so sorry.
I got it
I'm
wrong.
so
Can we
sorry.
start over?
Okay, retake. Back to one.
He ruined my big reveal.
It looks like a Frenchie. Is he a Frenchie?
So that happened a couple months ago. And then over I talked last week, listeners know, just lost a good friend, unfortunately. It's been the relationship that I had started, that has now kind of, that's nothing bad. We're staying friends and everything, but that's just kind of, it's been a rough couple weeks.
Because you met her mom.
I did, yeah.
That what did it?
I would like to think not. But yeah.
Was she attacking other girlfriends?
That'll do it every time.
That's tough.
Yeah. But you got to make the choice that feels best for you. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. So all that was going on, and then so over the weekend, and then with all this, I was like, man, this all sucks. I live alone, and now I'm probably seeing people even less because she was kind of like my bubble person that I was seeing, and I was like, wow, this is going to be very lonely again. And I'd really bet, I had, when I was married, I had Ernie, who was a French bulldog. I really love French bulldogs. They're just so friendly and happy and good, smart, well-behaved. And I've been thinking about him a lot and missed him a lot. And then so I just started doing some online investigating, and then stumbled into somebody online that it was somebody that apparently works in the medical field who, because of how crazy the times are right now, doesn't have time to take care of their dog. And so they put him up for adoption.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a new friend.
We have to meet this friend.
We got to meet
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
We got
I
to
like
meet
how
him.
you made that sound so untoward. He's like,
I know.
started doing some investigation on the dark web.
I know.
And I found a gentleman who may have had some information about.
I know a guy.
A hot
guy.
puppy?
I can't tell you more. I have to kill you.
It really did
on.
sound so. By the way, Tony can't hear anything we're saying. It sounded so unsavory.
So I staked out this dog park for 3 or 4 days, slept in a van, and
Oh my God! Look at this dog that you got through unsavory means.
get that grump face.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
What's
This
his name?
is my new roommate.
Oh my
his
God!
name?
Yeah.
Well, that's still a little bit. Sorry, he's wiggly. I'm going to put him down because he's beefy.
He is beefy.
He's
You mean he
so
farts?
cute.
He just
also
beef a fart into the mic. Yeah, tell us all about him. He does, like, you say French bulldog, and I think of maybe a lot of French bulldogs I've seen are like little guys, but he's like a tall drink of chunky water.
Yeah, he's more like an English bulldog with
Yes.
the Frenchy ears.
They can vary because Ernie was actually the same way. Ernie was on the bigger side for a French bulldog because I think they're normally like 15, 20 pounds, but then there are some that are bigger. And this guy's.
Do you have a feeder fetish for dogs?
I never talked to
Are
him.
you feeding them?
So yeah, he's like 32 pounds. His name is already Bentley, which I feel like kind of fits him, but I'm also still kind of like, I don't know. I'm still deciding if I want to call him something else or not.
That's his name. That is his name. My dog. I have 3 dogs. 2 came pre-named, and I would not ever change their name. I feel like that's offensive.
I hear what you're saying. However, it seems like dogs roll with it because if you think about
That's
it in
what
a
I've been told.
now, granted, Tony did meet the mysterious healthcare professional who used to house Bentley. However, other dogs, they go into the shelter, someone just like, they're like, I gotta name 7 dogs. Oh, I know, the Von Trapp children, Maria, Kurt, and they just do that. And then the dog gets to a new home and then someone gives them a name and they seem to be okay with it.
Yeah, they can roll with it.
Yeah, but to me, it seems like I know my first name is Steven or something. Like you've got this new kid and you're like, your new name's Jason and you don't tell anyone your real name.
That's right. What was his name? And I know my first name is Steven. Was it Kenneth? No, Kenneth Parnell was the guy who kidnapped him.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. His
Tommy
name
was the other little kid. Listen, this is not a meeting of the Corky Nemec fan club. So let's put that on our other podcast, Ken.
Anyway, Bentley.
Or
So
whatever
he's-
you will name him.
Yeah. I think you should name him a new name. Just to keep it different. I think you should give a new one. I think it should be Tater.
I think
what
it
I
needs
think.
to sound like a butler. I think as long as you keep it a name that sounds like a butler, it'll be fine.
Yeah. How many butlers have you met named Tater? Hundreds, right? Tater's
least-
perfect. Let's go with Tater. Everybody
Yeah.
for Tater? Tater
Yeah.
it is.
Like Tater.
Or what's a good butler name? Belvedere.
Bentley.
No, but he's already had that name. We're going for something new.
How about other luxury cars? Like you could call them Cadillac,
Sure.
Aston.
for short, Aston. I don't know what other.
I know
luxury
it is
cars.
kind of funny that if I keep the name Bentley, because I am so not a car person, so it is kind of funny that his name is Bentley.
But Maserati,
Yeah,
Little
you go.
Maz,
Maz.
Prius, how about Prius?
Prius.
Prius, Leaf, Nissan Leaf.
So Wendy's name when we got her was Madison. And I feel like Madison and Bentley are similar in that they are not names that Tony or I would choose. And we renamed her. She let us know she didn't think of herself as a Madison and she wanted to be Wendy. And I said, well, okay.
I'll listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. How old is he? Did you get him today?
He, so I literally just got him on Saturday. It all happened kind of quickly because I saw the listing and then I was like, thought about it. I was like, I'll go. I found out I could come and meet him and see. I was like, I'll go meet him and I'll think about it. And then of course I go meet him and he it was like he already knew me. He freaked out and
Oh, is he listening to the show?
I think so. Yeah.
He's a big fan of Motion City.
But he just immediately got on my lap and was going nuts on me and so friendly. And I was like, God damn it. I guess I'm doing this.
Like this was just for coffee, and look what happened.
And he literally just turned 1 a couple of days ago.
Oh, he's a young little guy.
Yeah, so he's still a bit of a pup. But yeah, he's a happy, friendly dude.
Is he potty trained?
Sort of.
Still diapers?
What I'm learning quickly is the only bummer was he is not neutered, so I'm going to take care of that ASAP because he's got pea fever right now.
Oh, he's
Does
marking
he
stuff.
get the lipstick often, or
No, I haven't gotten any of that I've seen yet.
you don't want that.
But I think even after they're neutered, the lipstick happens.
sometimes
I think so.
not as much.
True.
Yeah.
But every now and again.
Yeah, and if you're doing belly rubs, you don't want to accidentally brush balls. That's why I don't have children either.
For the belly rubs that you give children all the time.
Oh, this kid's got a good lipstick going.
Congratulations, Tony. I am curious where you found this listing and on we've deduced that you found this dog on the dark web.
Yeah, what did you Google? Like people who hate their dogs and want to get rid of them?
If you don't want to say, you don't have to.
It's like
But-
dog hitmen.
Honestly, I can't remember. It literally just started as a Google search. I think I literally just searched French Bulldog Los Angeles and then kind of just went from there.
First of all, that sounds like the best bar ever, though.
Right?
It does.
Yes.
I think after COVID, we should all invest in the French Bulldog Los Angeles.
Yes. 100%.
A modern take on the Regal Beagle.
Yeah. Yep.
Would it be an upscale bar?
It'd be like an upscale dive bar with upscale deconstructed comfort food and probably have small batch craft beers that are to everybody's taste, board games and different theme nights, maybe an arcade game.
Oh my God. I'm in.
Sounds magical.
I'm
Let's do
in.
it.
Sharks, I'm
Let's
in.
do it.
Now, would it have small plates?
Probably do small plates, not tapas. It's not as regimented as that. So you could just get a couple for the table or you get 2 or 3 for yourself. It's a meal, just drop in at lunch, just casual. It's just cool.
Anything you don't know how to describe, you can just call it deconstructed.
Yes, absolutely.
When I worked
or something goes awry. Yeah.
Yes. Well, congratulations, Tony. So I knew about the moose situation a while ago and was just kind of waiting till you wanted to talk about it. But my heart went out to you so much because I know how much you did not want it to go down that way. And I just my own feeling about it was I really think you did the right thing for you and for Moose because the situation was untenable because you were growing more and more fearful of Moose.
Yeah.
And the situations were pretty serious.
Yeah. It really was awful. Like it really, like it's still like a thing that kind of replays in my head from time to time. And it was seriously awful.
Right.
Like I can't stress that enough. And I didn't, it was hard to talk about for a long time. And then also I've admitted, and who knows, maybe I still will, like, admittedly a little scared of like people shaming me about giving her up or something. And, so
that's the better thing. Like rather than make it get just worse and worse and worse to like.
Yeah. And Tony, talk about how responsible you are with you went back to the foster people. You made sure it had you didn't just leave her on the street.
Yeah,
right.
That's what my dad would have done. Taken her for a drive.
Yeah. What do you think? Because people are going to want to know where she is. So just let them know kind of what Moose's story is, I think.
Yeah. I wanted like, even though it was terrible and like obviously it needs to be the right situation, I didn't want to like just anyone to take her and then be like, all right, good luck. You know, I wanted to hopefully make sure that she got somewhere in, a good situation.
And so is she now with the foster or has she been rehomed?
I'm not totally sure because let me tell you, the only person that did shame me so far was the foster the woman from the rescue.
I bet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because she's just like, had no give backs.
You should have been like, what do you want me to do? Eat her?
I thought
she couldn't be,
I thought the whole thing is they will like happily, whatever, take her
It's
back.
weird in California though, because like in Massachusetts, it's really hard to adopt a dog, and like you have to show up at the shelter like before they open, like it's Black Friday, and like everyone rushes in, and like they really strictly screen them. Like every time we went in to look at dogs, there was always some teenage girl crying because they told her she can't have one of the dogs because they'd be like, we really don't think that you with your schedule you can. I want it, and it's like really really difficult. So and they're expensive, but in LA, I imagine that there's just so many dogs that they're like, we got one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there was probably some projecting on herself that just like, oh yeah, we didn't properly vet this dog or the person taking it.
Yeah.
That was on us. That was on us.
Yeah, she was just kind of guilt tripping me a bit, and it kind of to the point where like while I would kind of like to know what happened from there, there's part of me that's like, I don't really want to reach out to this lady anymore.
Yeah, you're just moving forward, not looking back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fucked up of her. I don't appreciate that at all.
Yeah,
That she
it was
did that.
already hard enough to do, and then to just like stand there and listen to her say all this stuff to me, it was like, okay.
Can you send me her info and I'll follow up on it?
Because you were doing the responsible thing, and also now you can come back to them with all this pertinent info about her temperament so that they can find the right home for her. So she can just shove it up her buns and choke on it.
Yeah. And I didn't do it immediately too, because I even said like, I can keep her still for a little bit. I would like to try and get this taken care of sooner than later because I'm really just not comfortable and I don't think this is good for either one of us. So I did still hang on to her for a bit while they were trying to figure it out. And then it eventually got to a point where she was like, okay, we haven't found anyone yet. So I'll just go ahead and take her for now until we find another home for her.
Does she have other dogs? Like little dogs?
She said she did. And I gave her the whole story and she made it sound like she's like, she sounded very confident that she'll be able to handle this.
Oh, so she was like, that was your fucking problem, not mine, you piece of shit. Was it like that kind of thing?
kind of felt that way. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
She was all user error.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
What about Bernie?
Ooh.
Because then it's got a little bit of Bentley in that one letter and a little bit of Ernie in the Ernie part of the
cute.
name.
But then you get
Yes.
the Sanders thing. And
I know.
people
Like
might
then,
think you gotta-
like everybody's gonna
Right.
assume I'm a Bernie bro.
Oh,
You're right.
How about Benson?
Ooh,
You know, that actually did cross my mind.
Yeah.
Benson.
Just it has to be the name of an adult person who's always going to be dependent on you. I think you guys have said butler, but I feel like all of these people have also been children who will just always rely on their parents' money as well. So I think
Trust
you can
fund,
also,
trust fund baby names.
right. Yes.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I think of the mayor when I hear Benson. But wait, was Benson the mayor? Now I'm forgetting.
No, he was the butler to the governor, and then
Oh.
he ran for governor in a cliffhanger, and the show never ended. We never knew if he won the government or not, but he was a spinoff from Soap, and it was a whole thing.
I didn't realize it was a spinoff from Soap. Okay, I see. Yes. What are other trust fund names?
Warrington,
Ashton,
Warren,
Warren,
Jaden.
Chadwick.
Sterling. Oh, that one came up. I'm pointing as if you guys were there. You weren't, but Tony was. Sterling came up on the. That's Helen's name for the mouse, perhaps. I don't think I saw
right.
this. I saw this dog. He's not a Sterling.
I want you to name this dog like he's going to buy our rec center with his dad's money and turn it into a parking lot for his yacht club.
Oh, yes.
You guys are all
Perfect.
going a very different direction than I was thinking, because Frenchie's just, especially when beefy like he is, and also they're so snorty. So they're like little pigs
Oh,
almost.
call him Toot.
So-
Two. What about Beefy?
I know someone else that just got a dog that named it Dr. Beef.
Oh, I follow her. That dog is so cute.
It is very cute. Yes.
Name
And
him Piccolo.
So I felt like I couldn't go the beef route.
What's
but
like
yeah,
a good snorty name?
Lowenbrow.
We were naming a mouse on the last episode, and now we're naming a dog. Maybe that's what
Yeah.
this podcast is now. It is
I think
now
so.
a
You've done the pivot.
Yeah.
You made it
Oh,
successfully.
I got it.
What do you got? What do you know?
Gourd.
gourd.
Like short
bad.
for Gordon, but it sounds like a little pumpkin-y gourd thing, you know? And you got that one, somebody be like, Gourd, come on. And like, if you go out to the store and you leave him in the car for a minute and come back in and he's like, he's eating the cake that you had in the front seat. It's all over his face. And he'd be like, Gourd.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
I like
It's definitely a
Gordon.
contender.
Gordon is a
Gordon's funny.
snorty name.
And you could do Gordon
Yeah.
when he's you're like, Gordon.
Yeah. What about Snorton?
Snorden's good. Snord. Oh, Glomer.
Glomer.
Oh,
Pretty
Pinky
good.
Front.
Question.
Well,
Now
that was
that-
really good, Allison. We can't just brush over that. How long can you hold on to that
That was
impression?
really good, yeah.
What? But make that a drop. I want that every other sentence from
I
now
thought
on.
Frank Welker was right there.
Oh, Pinky Front.
Glomer is, and I'm not an impression person, but Glomer is like the easiest one to do. Is there anyone, do you think some people listening don't know about Glomer? So,
Oh.
Punky
Maybe.
Brewster,
I'm not positive I do.
take a guess.
Well, you said Punky Brewster. So was this something, there was an animated version of that, right?
Yes.
It's
You're
Punky
onto it.
Brewster.
Yep.
That's right. So,
Great theme song that went bow 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 bow.
in the animated version, for some reason, there was this little, was he an alien?
No, he was from a magical land called Shandoon that only appeared at the end of the rainbow like Brigadoon, and he was out fucking around and he didn't get back in the rainbow in time. And as the lyrics said, and a lot like Punky, he was one of a kind. Glomer was an orphan. He was left behind.
Well, I didn't remember any of that. I just knew that he was a creature not of this earth, and he spoke like
Oh, Pinky Front.
that.
Imagine a Mogwai that can grant wishes.
Yeah. But didn't he get into trouble?
Yeah, it was the usual, like, takes the wishes too literally.
Like Amelia
it thinks-
Bedelia.
Yeah, thinks he's helping, but makes things worse. That kind of stuff.
We should go back and revisit that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know it's
And-
just now on Amazon Prime that it just will be real quick, like, oh, Renee, that's what you've gotten yourself into. The new Mad About You. Come on.
Is it good?
It's
Is it
great.
good? Yeah.
No, of course it's not. But standards are so low in quarantine. I'm loving it.
Who's
I
in
love
it?
the original. I want
Everybody.
yeah, except Murray. Murray's
Helen,
dead.
yeah. Murray. But they got a new dog for me. So
Oh.
I'm fine.
What's that
I'm
dog's
fine.
name?
Yeah.
Oh, what is that dog's name? I don't know. Cute. It's cute.
Okay.
It's big. It's a big boy.
So wait, this is a reboot with the original people. It's like it's where they
Paul
are
Reiser,
now.
Helen Hunt.
Yep.
Whole team. Yeah, and they're the pilot starts off with them sending their daughter to college.
How did I not? Not that I'm a huge fan or anything, but I am someone who watches TV and is semi-aware. How was I not aware this was happening and this was already
happened,
airing?
Like at the
So
end
glad
of
you
last
asked. I'd
year.
love to tell you. And because Spectrum produced it.
Yeah.
So who knows where that was actually living before it got to Amazon Prime.
Spectrum, the cable company?
The network? Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know this.
Who knew they were making stuff?
Because there's a Punky Brewster sequel series as well that nobody's watched.
What?
No kidding.
What was
Where?
that?
When?
It was on Peacock. And it's all of them grown up today, and Punky's daughter is like the new Punky Brewster. It's the original cast. No Glomer. I presume he's been murdered.
What?
And they don't talk about it. But yeah, it's airing. It's been on for like a year, and no one cares.
No kidding.
Should I go watch it?
I'm going to go watch it tonight.
I'll put it this way. Even I haven't watched it.
What is Amy Foster, who went to my high school, who played Margot? Is she in it?
Amy's not in it. She quit acting and is really not interested in going back to it. And I've nearly had her on my show 3 or 4 times, and then she's backed out.
Amy.
But Cherry Johnson's in it. No Alan, though. The world's biggest asshole.
Alan. Who was Alan?
Alan was her friend who had the meanest lines on television that ever aired. Alan was a little dick. He wore a sweatshirt that he made into sweat sleeves. He's the one who was fucking off and he didn't know CPR.
Wait, is he the one who was in the refrigerator box?
No, that's Cherry.
Oh,
Cherry.
Alan was a
Alan.
little blonde kid.
I gotta
So they
look
were
him
doing-
up.
Oh,
Sounds like a real.
Alan.
Yeah,
I
Alan
remember
was an
Alan.
asshole.
Alan was a Spencer. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Or a Gordon or a
Yeah.
Bentley. Alan was a Bentley.
Yeah.
Okay, now to go back to something from a second ago, because Gordon is the dog that eats the cake that you left in the front of the car, and it makes you go Gordon. Or what was the other similar name?
Gord or Snorton.
Snorden. Yeah, we all have dogs. Would any one of our dogs not eat a cake in the very front of the car?
I don't think my Ted would.
Really?
But my other 2 would. Yeah. Ted's a little too like prim, and he'd be like, if it wasn't a cake he liked, he'd be like, I don't like that.
And what kind of cakes does he like?
He does like baked goods, but he's not a big chocolate fan, which is good. But he prefers like a muffin to a cupcake.
There you go.
It's amazing that you know this.
Oh, well, I know what they try to steal from me.
And would Tug eat a cake?
If I were there, no. But if I went there, of course, yes, in a heartbeat. So if I'm there, he just wants to argue about it until he's allowed to have it. But he knows he's not supposed to. So then he'll just backtalk.
Tug is so well behaved. You got like the dream. I feel like you got the dream rescue situation.
That's very kind of you. We've come a long, long way, and he's great so long as there's not a squirrel or anything outside that he wants.
yeah,
and then
God.
the game's over. But yeah, so long as there's no distraction, he's pretty good at listening.
Have I told you guys about? And then we'll move on to something less doggy. But in case I'm thinking, in case someone's like, enough of the dogs. But whoever that person is, I don't like your soul.
You don't want him. You don't want him as a listener.
Get out of here.
Yeah. The Wendy's. Daniel and I joked that this was like the best day of Wendy's life, and that she fondly thinks back to it. So on the show, Nothing Bundt Cakes. Do you guys know that place?
Oh, yeah.
They came up and they give you a bundt cake on your birthday if you sign up or something. And so a listener sent the show a bunch of bundt cakes. So I received like a bunch of little bundt cakes and then this tiered big old bundt cake thing with cellophane around it. And I was like, they gave us so much cake. And I looked at the big one and the note was to someone else. So they delivered a cake that was not meant for us. And I called and I told them and they either they said to keep it or they insisted it was meant for us. It was very confusing, but regardless, we ended up with an extra humongous cake. So I set it. Oh, and meanwhile, this was the week that I discovered ants in my kitchen, and I pretty much was like, no one eats food in this house ever again, because I'm so anti-ant. So I was both excited about the baked goods, but also nervous about leaving this cake where the cellophane didn't completely cover it in the kitchen because I was worried about ants. So I put it on the table in Dining Room Studios. So you guys all know that table. And left the room, and I came back, and Wendy was standing with her hind legs on a chair, her front legs on the table, her snout inside the cellophane, just like in slow motion, licking at the frosting. You'd think, given the chance, she would just scarf that thing down because she knows she's not supposed to, but she was savoring it. She was like in a trance, just licking. She hadn't breached cake. She was just licking the frosting, and she was so happy. And I think that was probably the best experience of her life.
Certainly. Did she think she had more time, do you suppose?
Probably.
That she could, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then
I think Tony
call it
needs
short.
to name that dog Bunt.
Bunt.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
It would sound so much like butt.
But it's not.
Right.
That's the great thing.
This is true.
Wow.
A couple of Thanksgivings ago, we brought Petey to my dad's house, and I brought a coconut cream pie, which my dad had, quote, never heard of.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Fancy. Look who's fancy.
And so must be nice. And so Pete was, a little anxious, and then he fell asleep under the table, and I'm like, oh, he's sleeping. I can now go to the bathroom. And as soon as I shut the bathroom door, it turns out he was pretending to be sleeping, and he immediately went and he took the whole pie off the table and took it into the other room and just ate that
That's
thing.
good.
Yeah, it was, he loved it.
That's really, not desirable behavior, but really smart.
Oh yeah, my dogs are really good at tricking me.
So how did Petey, with his manipulative Petey and picky Ted, how did they get along?
Well, Ted bothered him a lot, but Pete's kind of solo. So that's where we got Larry, because Ted and Larry hang out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry's like very much like the bold one. Like if Pete needs to go upstairs, he'll just stand at the bottom of the stairs and whine. And if I'm on the other side of the house and can't hear him, Larry will come get me to like let Pete upstairs. But then like Ted won't go upstairs unless you turn the right lights on. And he's like, and like he could jump like 6 feet easily and he won't get on the bed unless we have a stool for him, and it has to be in the right spot. And he's like, he's very fussy like that.
They're all poodle mixes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, Ted's a standard poodle.
Mm-hmm.
So he's no mix. But yeah, the others are.
Ted, the fussy one.
Ted, the fussy.
The fussy, picky one. What pies has your dad heard of?
He'd heard of, like apple pie, blueberry pie, mostly the fruit pies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think he ever explored the cream pie community and that sort of branch of the family tree of pies. A custard pie, which I like. And he had heard of a coconut custard pie. So he was like, is this like a coconut custard pie? And I was like, no, it's a coconut cream pie. It's a different thing. And he was like, I don't know if that's a different thing. And I'm like, it's a different thing.
Right.
I feel like a coconut custard pie is even more rare than a coconut cream pie.
Not around these parts.
And he hadn't even heard of a Boston cream pie? Or are those not popular in Boston?
They're not really, you don't really get those as a
We
pie
just call them cream
itself.
pies here.
Yeah. We just call them cream pies. What are you going to go to England and ask for muffins or English muffins? But yeah, that's more like a cake, and like usually don't get that in a full size version. They're usually like, other, but yeah, he wasn't familiar. And I was shocked.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So before, when I said, let's dig into the whole not leaving your house for many days.
Right.
This came up on Childish, and it came up on my episode with Mark Norman, That's my Monday episode, youtube.com/Allison Rosen. Check that out. Great response to that one. He's very funny. And so now this is the third show that it's coming up on, but I feel okay with that. Cause each mention of it brings really a different take on it. So my mother-in-law's here, which is wonderful. She is, bailing Daniel and me out. And I woke up one morning and Daniel was in the kitchen talking to his mother about something political, of which I agree with him, but it just was he gets very passionate when he talks politics. And it was like loud and, loud. It was loud. Maybe loud was the main thing it was. It was loud and it felt angry and it was passionate and just a lot of and so that was making me kind of anxious because I had like just woken up. And now this new thing, now that I'm old, is that everything's blurry when I first wake up for a while, and it never fully gets unblurry. Like the fact that I had 20/20 vision for my whole life and now I don't, I'm just having trouble adjusting to it. And I know I got to do something about it. And I do have reading glasses and I have other glasses, but those are no longer the right prescription anyway. So I just feel out of it. And then also Elliot was running around the coffee table yelling at Owen, "Look at me, Owen, look at me. And Owen and that is, agitating because I want to like go in and explain, like, stop, you don't need to yell at him. He doesn't quite understand.
Right.
So all of this is just so loud and it's going on and it's like making me so agitated. So I go in the other room, I sit down at the computer and I think, if my husband and kids, and by the way, I'm repeating the thing that has gotten me in trouble the last time I mentioned it. But if my husband and kids were to like need to go away, I don't know when I would miss them. I don't know how long it would take.
Yeah,
I know I would eventually. That part I didn't say. Like, I know I would eventually, but I can't plug into that feeling right now. And so I expressed that. And I think when I shared it on the Mark Norman episode, I said something like, it made me wonder, am I trapped in the wrong life? Now, I'm remembering now that I think I said that. And I get that sounds extreme. And so then like there was a comment like, I don't think it's normal to not want to see your kids. It was depressing to hear that. And so that bummed me out. And I tried to explain. But I get that I get the way that sounds. It sounds different than how I intend it to sound and different than what I even mean. But in my defense, I have not been separate from these same people whom I love with all my heart since late February.
Yeah. I mean, two things. One, I think it was out of line when you said that the Amityville Horror made sense. I thought it was a little far. But you know, there's a reason that we have the cliche absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes. Right.
I also think that, so your media, or at least when this happens to me, I don't have it happen with people because there's no people around here, but I have it happen with work of how long of a break would I need to like be like, oh, I wish I had purpose again. I wish there was someplace to go. But I think what starts with that is like, I need a break. Mm-hmm. But you know, the break that you could get is an hour and that's not going to be enough. So then that extends to, well, how long would the break have to be for it to be enough?
Right.
So I think that's natural. I think you're fine.
You need a break. It's sort of like when you are so full and you can't even imagine being hungry or imagine being so full that you can't even in that moment imagine being hungry again. Right. Of course you'll be hungry again. It's just like you're so satiated that you can't get in touch with that feeling.
Or like you have a really bad cold and you can't imagine what it feels like to not have it.
Yes. By the way, that always, and I thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't been sick this entire time. But whenever I am sick, I always forget how true that is. I always forget that like the reason I feel this way is because I just start to beat myself up like, you're just lazy. You just have no motivation. You just don't want to do anything. And it's like, no, I'm sick is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I am just, it's hard to imagine wanting to see them while being away from them because I can't imagine being away from them.
Right.
Well, I think too, though, like, I don't know if this is true for everybody else, but there's a sense of identity loss for yourself in this because like one of the ways we carve out our identity is how we interact with the world and how it interacts with us. And the further removed from that, like the less you feel sort of like you. So it probably does, you probably are sort of craving that a little bit too, which isn't even about them necessarily.
I definitely felt that earlier on in all this. I feel like I've just accepted it now. Like, oh, my identity is now I go into a room and I talk to a computer. And it feels like talking to people.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I have this. Thank God I have my own little studio and I still have the show, because those are the moments where I actually get to be in touch with the old me, even though it's a totally different way that we're doing it. But yeah, it's just, I think it's going to take a while, even after we come out of this whole thing, which hopefully I feel like I can see it on the horizon with the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm thinking
now.
this summer.
This summer.
But I think it'll take like years to figure out really what the effect of all of this was on all of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Certainly.
I keep saying it's going to be a decade before I'm like mentally back where I was
Yeah.
before. But like when I think about it, like this is the longest I've ever gone without flying somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's the longest I've ever gone since I was 14 years old, not being on stage.
Yeah.
It's the first year I haven't been to a comic book convention since 1985.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's like a weird, you don't realize all the stuff you do till you're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing not playing shows, Tony?
I hate it. I really, truly hate it. Like we did, Don't Stop or We'll Die did a couple live streams, which that was nice to, get to play with some people. But, playing to a couple of cameras and is not the same.
No.
Yeah, I really miss it very, very, very much.
And did you guys have a lot of stuff planned this year or last year?
No, with like weirdly, since we did, it's so crazy that we actually toured last year.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got all of that done because we did it in January and then a little bit of February. I got home basically like a month before all this started. I was supposed to
So
go to
wild.
the UK for 2 festival shows, and other than that, everything else happened.
Isn't it so crazy that Sketchfest was
A year ago.
a year ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Wow.
weird. Renee, I know that you have a new endeavor, which I want to hear about. But first, Allison Rosen's Your New Best Friend is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Counseling. The new year can be a good time for a mental health check-in. If you have always wanted to try therapy, or you'd like to try it again, or you just need to talk some things out, BetterHelp offers online licensed professional therapists who are trained to listen and to help with issues, including anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, LGBT matters, trauma, grief, self-esteem, and more. Finding a therapist can be intimidating and time-consuming. With BetterHelp, you just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs and then get matched with your counselor in under 48 hours. Everything you share is confidential. If for any reason you're unhappy with your counselor, you can request a new one at any time at no additional charge. So do not worry about feeling committed to someone who you don't feel like is a good fit for you. They'll get you to the right person. BetterHelp is a convenient and affordable option, and our listeners get 10% off your first month with the discount code BESTFRIEND. Get started today at BetterHelp, HELP.com/bestfriend. There's no shame in asking for help. I also want to talk to you guys about CBDMD. What sounds better after a long day than a hot bath and a good night's sleep? Nothing. Lucky for you, our good friends at CBDMD have exactly what you need to get the most out of this perfect relaxation ritual. Their new CBD bath salts fuse superior CBD with a mixture of Epsom, Dead Sea, and Himalayan salts to turn any bathtub into a luxury spa experience. Choose from lavender and eucalyptus scents or a soothing nighttime blend with melatonin and calming herbs. While CBD PM blends 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD with melatonin, valerian root, chamomile, and other sleep-promoting ingredients to create a powerful sleep aid. They also have something called Restore, I believe, or Relieve. I really should know. It's either Restore, I believe it's Relieve, and it is a CBD and lidocaine, and it's really good if you are sore. And I think I mentioned that I over vacuumed I have a new vacuum. I over vacuumed. I was swinging that thing around. You don't even know. I had it up in the air.
What kind you get?
Oh, I will tell you after.
Yeah.
Just you wait. I had it up in the air and was like vacuuming the vents. And afterwards, I thought, man, that hurts. But enter CBD MD with lidocaine. And to make it even easier to relax, regroup, and recharge, they're offering all our listeners 25% off your next order when you use the promo code Allison at checkout. Once again, that's cbdmd.com, cbdmd.com, promo code Allison for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBD MD. Okay.
That's a good deal. Hear about this vacuum. What's this vacuum? What'd you get?
I was debating whether to get a cordless vacuum.
Oh, did you get the Dyson cordless?
I got the Dyson cordless.
I got it too, and I love it.
Oh my God. Are we back? Did you get the V8 Animal?
Yes.
That's what I got. Although I do a little bit wish that I'd gotten the V8 Absolute, which has the soft roller for hardwood floors. So I bought, get this, an off-market one. And I use that. By the way, if you would also like to buy, if you want to be vacuum buddies with us, and it was Allie Ward she tweeted me, who told me about this. I'll get into it, but let me just do one more plug. My Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen, amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen. This vacuum is in my shop now. You can shop my podcast gear. You can shop my beauty stuff, home stuff, blah, blah, blah. I've got Daniel's. I've got all sorts of stuff there. Go check it out. It's fun. Whether you buy anything or just want to see all the stuff that I recommend. So anyway, I was like, is this cordless? Does anyone have a cordless vacuum they like? Because I figured, sure, I'll drop, $74 on a vacuum or something because I like to vacuum all the time and I don't like having to deal with a cord because the outlets in our house are not everywhere that you want them to be. So many people responded telling me, oh, the Dyson V8 Animal is great. It's pricey, but it's great. It really is pricey. My God. It's ridiculously expensive.
But it's worth it. I got a
But
refurbished
really
one, so I got it pretty cheap.
Really?
Okay.
That's smart. Is there any downside to the refurbished action of it? Because
Nope,
I thought
it
of
has
that.
the same warranty and everything. It was just it was much like significantly cheaper. Like I think it was $129.
Wow. Okay. I spent with the coupon like $280, but that's but right now they're $399.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they
pricey
last
vacuum.
forever. And it's fun. This sounds stupid. It's fun.
Here's the problem I have with it.
wicked fun.
What I don't,
You're right. That does sound stupid.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
It was like when I bought a power washer earlier in the pandemic. I was just like, what the fuck can I wash? Or am I going to vacuum?
I am a little bit like that. Like I'll just sort of walk. It's like I'm a gun nut holding my baby, my baby being the gun, not an actual baby. And I'm like,
Of course.
I got to use it. Yeah. I'll just walk around like, what corner haven't I hit? So anyway, when I got it, I just really went overboard because you really can put it up like anything in the corner, any cobweb, any of this. The baseboard. The brush attachment makes easy work of baseboard. I mean, I went nuts with the thing. Now, Tony, you have a cordless vacuum, not a Dyson, but you like it or no?
Mine is okay. I definitely bought a cheaper kind of like random brand that I've literally never even heard of, and off the top of my head I couldn't even tell you what it is.
A Gleason?
It's like it's not even like they weren't even that.
It's a Bentley.
They didn't go for like the like sound alike name. It's just some weird name, and it's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's fine.
The thing about this one is you turn it on, you run it along your carpet or whatever. Of course, you can tell you vacuumed, but the dust container is like filled with it. It picks up so much, or it creates it. I don't know.
Either way feels good.
It
And how
feels
loud are we
satisfying.
talking? Is it a
Not-
we gotta?
It's not
real
that
quiet?
loud. It's not. No, it's not real quiet, but it's not nearly as loud as a plug-in vacuum.
It's more like
Okay.
an electric car.
Oh, all right, sold. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Take my $500.
They're great. They're-
I'm gonna toss in an extra 100.
Yes. Well, you can get the attachments and the
No, sure, I know. I
you
will.
can get the Bluetooth enabled.
Here's
But
the
how
thing.
light is it to swing it up and vacuum the vents?
It's pretty light.
It's like 6 pounds.
Okay.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing I don't like about it. And I had been warned by former guest Courtney Hameister. You have to pull the trigger the entire time you use it. And I find that it, like, maybe I'm just the laziest person in the universe, but I found that my arm and shoulder and hand, like my hand was a little bit sore after. I just got to build up my vacuuming muscles.
Yeah, it's a dead man switch. It's so it just doesn't get left on forever, and then you end up vacuuming your whole house, and then you don't want that.
I think that they say the reason is to conserve charge.
Yeah, it doesn't keep a charge super long.
No, 40 minutes.
Yeah, depending on how much you suck.
But I bought an aftermarket switch on Amazon. Yes. And now I don't think it's going to, I haven't started using it yet, but it like slides on and then it's got a little switchy thing. So apparently you can put this on and then it holds it on in the on position.
You're modding this thing up. Did you get like flames on the side of it? Like
I hired that
fuzzy dice
guy.
hanging off.
I hired that guy to pimp my cume. pimp my back.
There's a dog. It's near it. It's in Burbank. Have you seen that place called Pimp My Pooch?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, do you know what pimp means? Because like this seems, unless that's what they do there.
Bad. We should shut you down.
If that is what they do, they're basically just a dog breeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Renee, you have a
Yes,
new podcast,
Allison.
right?
I do. Yes. I've got two versions of it. One is the like, here's what it is. And then two is the behind the scenes. Thank you, Tony. Here's why I'm actually making it. So it's the first one I've ever done all by myself. And all of this, Allison, is because of you.
No.
I recently did a little bit, did a little Patreon with you. And you said,
yes.
come on. There she goes. Come on. Give it a try.
Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Go hear the episode where I changed Renee's life.
Every time she manages
Yeah, lots
to
of
do it.
episodes with you.
Yeah. So first, one where I'm trying it by myself. And I think sort of the theme that everyone I have talked to with, kind of the same thing we were just talking about, is who do I want to be on the other side of this pandemic? Like, this can't have all happened for nothing. Or even just observationally of like, this is where I was and this is who I'm going to be on the way out. I definitely have been procrastinating on everything, all the things that I was going to do to reinvent myself. I'm like, I got time. But then the vaccines came out and my job sent out a notice saying we're back in the office July 6th, which of course might move. But that was the first one that felt like, it's happening. I got work ahead of me. So the podcast is called My Pandemic Makeover Spectacular, where we've got 4 pillars, work, like your job. How are you going to get that figured out? To dating. Oh, good. But I got to talk about it. I got to get it figured out. I think this notion of just like, how do we help though? Like, we're all kind of from a place of, we have money, we're fine. So how do we help the people who are actually suffering during this pandemic? Also all the social injustice. And then also good looks. What am I going to do with this hair? What am I going to do with these clothes that don't fit? So we're kind of going to talk about each one of those topics. I'll round robin them. Episodes are short, the 10 minutes. First one comes out February 1st. And it'll just kind of, be a nice way for all of us to get together to a little bit have a self-help podcast that tells you from the jump, oh, this isn't going to work. You're not going to change. Nothing is going to change.
I like it. So the pillars are work, dating, social justice.
Just how can I help? How can I help? How can I give back? Yeah.
Giving back. And then looks. Good looks.
Good looks. Thank you.
I like it.
Some would argue the better you look, the more you're giving back.
Thank you. So that's kind of my hook of what it is. But in actuality, I am finding that I really enjoy hosting, but I don't know if I can talk about anything that isn't dogs. So this is going to be it. This is going to be our trial run. We're going to give me 23 episodes to see if I can talk about something that's not dogs in a nice, easy, breezy way. There's no Patreon. There's no nothing. It's 10 minutes. So you can just tune in and I can feel off the hook of just like, there you go. New show for you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Where can people get it? And there was another question that went along with that.
Yeah,
where can we get it? Oh, what day does it come out?
Sure. So it on right now is only on Spotify, but eventually it'll be on everything. And it comes out February 1st. First episode February 1st. We'll be talking about work.
And then is it weekly?
Yep. and then weekly. For
What
23
day
episodes.
of the week?
Oh, Monday. Every
Monday.
Monday.
Listen to it right after you listen to my show or
Yes.
before. Just make sure you're listening to both.
Yeah, let's listen to Allison.
And are you going to have guests in those 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's also, I am really enjoying the sort of truncated version of interviews because I listen to them and like, unless you're Allison Rosen, sometimes those interviews are they're either narcissistic from the host's perspective or it takes forever to get to the thing that I actually wanted to hear. So sort of the behind the scenes, I'm going to interview the person for 30 minutes. Then I'll go through and kind of find like, okay, that's the gold nugget. That's the gold nugget. That's the gold nugget. I'll narrate in between them and we'll just play.
Oh my gosh. So it's going to be produced. That's so cool.
Well, yeah, let's see. It's also only 10 minutes. So
yeah,
should be pretty easy.
Sometimes I wonder if I were to edit down my interviews, what would that be like? And I don't mean the actual work of doing it, because I know that would be really hard. But right. I mean, like if it was just the gold, you know, I don't know. What if
I did it once? It was not easy.
You did it once?
I did a clip show for my either 50th episode or 100th episode, and so I kind of condensed each episode down into like a couple minutes. And it was really hard.
Yeah,
it's tricky.
I find that stuff really difficult. Like even just choosing the clips for promo is always hard for me.
Mm-hmm. The hardest part was keeping, this will sound wanky, keeping a narrative and not just having it be like funny lines. Like still being able to tell, like to have a conversation, like move through something without it just being like a boom, boom, boom hit kind of thing.
Right. So with your podcast, TV Guidance Counselor, Ken, how much do you normally edit it?
I edit a lot, but it's mostly like I cut out ums and ahs or like just stuff that you don't need to hear. Mm-hmm. But I probably listen to each episode like 3 or 4 times all the way through. Do
you enjoy that process?
I kind of do, because I feel like I'm doing something, and like with doing stand up so long where you just go up and it's done and you're like, well, that was a waste of time. Cause you don't have like a product at the end. Mm-hmm. I do like that part. And when you make like a nice edit, I get that same thrill I would get if I was playing like Echo the Dolphin as a kid and like made a really difficult move or something. But sometimes it's a lot of like, I just dread it. Like I have right now in the can, I have episodes through the end of March done. And like if I died today, they would still come out. But then I have like 4 episodes to edit and I'm like, ugh. Even though I have all the time in the world to do that.
If you died today, meaning like they're already scheduled?
Yeah, they would come out like I was alive.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Creepy.
And how long are the episodes?
They vary between like an hour and 2 hours.
Yeah. That's, I think anything longer than a half hour to like do that heavy editing is an assignment.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So you probably don't want to do that, Allison.
No. What's Echo the Dolphin?
Oh, it was a terrible Sega Genesis game that was about environmentalism, and you were this dolphin that had to save the world. It was so fucking hard. It was so hard because you'll drown if you're underwater too long because the dolphin's a mammal. And so you got to like keep it was. I have a lot of unresolved issues of killing that dolphin and panic in that game.
Jeez, did either Renee or Tony, did you guys play this game?
No.
Not regularly, but I have played it, yes.
I've never even heard of this game.
Sega put a lot of money. Yeah, they put a lot of money into it. It was during like the Captain Planet years when, you know, everything was kind of kids love the environment.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. So the school that I went to, kindergarten through 8th, when you graduated, it was a private school. When you graduated, and I don't know if this is how all 8th grade yearbooks are, but like instead of getting just the little square, or even before that, they would just do class pictures where you could barely see yourself. You'd get like half a page, and you could choose what photos of yourself you wanted, and then you could write a quote or like a bunch of phrases or whatever. Does everyone's 8th grade do this?
No.
Okay.
We weren't all fancy.
But it sounds great.
It was very
It sounds
fancy.
like they should start. Yes.
And my favorite thing to do was to get that yearbook and just pour over what the cool 8th graders said. And what I remember is there was a phase where they all wrote "Save the Whales." Like that was "Save the Whales," and then a common quote was "You're never fully dressed without a smile."
No.
But everyone was into "Save the Whales" back then.
Save the Whales was big. I remember that too. Yeah.
Free Willy had come out.
Right.
Star Trek 4, where they have to come back and save the whales, came out. It's big. It was big.
It's great. It's great. And it's something we can all agree on. Yeah. What's our other option? Toss them? Yeah, let's save them. Let's keep them. Let's Marie Kondo this. Yeah,
Let's
we
make
keep
them
What do you
pay
say?
for their crimes.
Do you guys want to do some Just Me or Everyone?
Yes,
Yeah.
please
Hold on.
do.
Can I ask one? I have one curious question first.
Yes.
Has anyone else ever been on a whale watch?
Yes, more than once. And I have found it nauseating both times, and I don't even think we saw whales.
Yeah. That sounds.
Yeah, I
about
didn't
right.
see a single
Fair.
one the time that I
Yeah,
did it.
I also didn't get
Is
to see
it a
any.
big scam? Has
I've gone and
anyone
seen
seen a
them.
whale?
I haven't. It's terrifying.
This is
And
what
you'll-
happens when we don't save them.
Yeah, they're gone. You need to save them. Secret. But I saw one once, and I wish that I didn't because they're so huge.
Wait,
I
how
was like
close were you?
close.
Really?
Yeah, we saw right whales, and they're not even that big. And I was like, no, I don't want to see these.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Which
a good
coast was it?
East Coast.
Yeah. of course.
That's a good whale watching experience because we did it as a field trip when I was in kindergarten, and I think they claimed it was so far away. Every time I've gone, I believe if there is a whale, it has been so far away that you need binoculars.
There is a quick look. Oh, you missed it.
Yeah. See over there, that blue thing? Like, no.
No.
But
know,
you
the
got
water?
really close to it. That's so cool.
Yeah. Would you ever swim with dolphins or do anything like that, or with manatees or that kind of thing?
I have swam with dolphins.
You have? What was it
Who
like?
it?
It was awesome. I loved it.
Where?
I've actually done it twice in Hawaii.
And
It
do
was
they
super cool?
Can you rub their chins and they'll kiss you and stuff?
Yeah, they like have them trained so like when you do it, yeah, they'll do like a thing where they'll swim by you and then you can like touch their bellies, and then one of the things I did, and the coolest part was you could do a belly to belly ride on the dolphin where like it
boy.
swims up and then
Kinky.
you basically like grab its fins and
Yeah,
then it's crazy because it's like super powerful and you're just like going through the water super fast on top
was
of
the
dolphin.
place called Pimp My Dolphin?
I should say, I think there are people who feel that it is not cool to swim with dolphins.
Yeah, you should run with them.
So you can just play splash with them.
Yeah. The movie? Just watch the Tom Hanks Daryl Hannah
Yes,
movie?
but yeah,
I'm not
that's
trying to
precisely what I
I'm
meant.
not trying to harsh your dolphin experience. I just feel I must acknowledge there are people who feel that the dolphins are not ours to swim with. That being said, there's this place, Nurtured by Nature Otters, down in San Diego where you can swim
yes.
with an otter, and that I would not do any of the other stuff because I am a scaredy cat enough that like if I'm in the deep end of a swimming pool, I can all of a sudden freak myself out by just thinking like, how do I know there's not a shark? I mean, and of course there's not a shark in a swimming pool, but I can be like, how do I know there's not? And then I'm like, and I give myself the willies and I have to get out. So I'm a wimp. I don't think I could swim with dolphins. Maybe I could, but
You
otters.
should do Nature by Nurture, though. That sounds.
Have you done it? Do you know it?
I know, but I've spent hours on their website.
Yeah.
Is it
just
90s
seems-
hip hop themed?
No, it should be though.
No, it's not Naughty by Nature. It's nurtured by nature. It's
But
similar.
Is it play on that?
Well, I never thought that until right now, probably. Yeah.
We'll go and we'll tell you.
Because if Tretch is running that place, that's going to be great.
It seems real cute.
Tony, could you play the Just Me or Everyone song?
I sure can.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Jonathan Feldman says, sometimes I eat toast, parentheses, or crackers with spread upside down so as to get the salty, buttery flavor directly on my tongue for a stronger initial flavor. I've never done this. I've never even thought about the fact that when I put something into my mouth, like on a spoon, I'm serving it up to the roof of my mouth where there are not any taste buds. I really never gave this much thought.
I've not done it with toast, but I know that I have done that with some foods before, but I'm having trouble thinking of what I did that with.
I do it with
do it-
spoon foods.
Oh,
Like
there
if
you
go.
you know, like ice
Little
cream.
flippity flop.
Yeah.
I'll do it with pizza. What are we doing? I don't need that. I don't need the crust. Give me a little flip flop.
Why are we eating wrong upside down? Why have we been doing this whole time?
Hold on a second. What is this spread this kid's talking about?
Crackers
Crackers with
Crackers with
spread?
spread. Where is this person from?
Spread?
There's
No, I've
those.
done that, like,
maybe it means those. You know
peanut
those
butter?
packages you could buy where it's like
Oh,
some like
sure.
crackers. that
Oh,
come
the
with little
cheese cracker
cheese.
with the
yeah.
With the little
red-
knife?
Yeah.
Little red knife.
Is anyone into those? I have felt they're disappointing for not that I've been offered them in, probably more than 20 years, but I find them to be disappointing no matter what.
I always associate them with being like at a gas station with your dad while the car's getting fixed and you're hungry and it's just like, get something out of the vending machine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted Renee. You were saying.
But no, they're always disappointing. You're correct. But this is a good, everyone, not just me, everyone.
But I feel like he's using spread to mean anything you put on a cracker.
Whoa, that is way too
Loose.
generous a definition.
Crackers with spread. Yeah, Jonathan, we're going to need to know what you're spreading on your crackers.
Yes, please.
I mean, I'm just...
Oh,
yeah.
how about spread for the dog?
Spread, no.
Come on, spread.
That just
'Cause
sounds...
it's like Ted. It's like kind of
That's like I
The
took
copywriter
spread.
who was told, pick a food, just pick a food, and that's what we'll name him. Spread.
spread.
Ellen Midda says, just me or everyone? Uh-oh. Hang on.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
Ah!
That's not just her.
Need a word to describe the phenomenon of answering an unexpected call from elderly parents in the middle of a workday because I'm sure someone is in the hospital, but really they just have a computer question. This happens often enough that I need a word for that. Ellen, yes. In my family, we pretty much don't call each other unless it's an emergency. We just text or text first. So an unexpected call would strike fear into my heart because to me, if I get an unexpected call, then there is something wrong.
Agreed. I agree with this. Is it now? What's this word though? Emergenot. Oops.
Techno,
Just
like-
kidding.
Some kind of combination of techno medical. Just think it's, my
Mech.
Aunt Helen, when I was in middle school, I got called down to the principal's office and she was in there and she's like, we have to go home. There's been a medical emergency. And so I'm
Come on.
panicked and we get in the car and she goes, we're going to the movies. And she would do that like 2 or 3 times a year because she wanted to go to the movies and didn't want to go alone and would just say there was a medical emergency. And I was like, don't do that.
Yeah. But what fun.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
fun.
It wasn't though.
Do
Right.
you remember all of the movies now specifically
Yes.
because it was hit? What were they? What started as a medical emergency and ended in Tom Hanks?
Started as a
Open it
medical
up.
emergency. We went to see Space Camp.
Okay. Ooh,
We
that's a good
went to see Short Circuit 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. These are good movies.
We went to go see Ghost.
Wow.
Yep, that was a weird one with Aunt Helen. What else did we see? Oh, Death Becomes Her.
Great.
That's a good movie.
That is
Yeah.
a great movie. Yeah, I think that was it. It was 4 times.
That's pretty great. Did you ever not fall for it? When you're like, oh no.
I
hope
only fell
someone's
for it
okay.
the first time.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but the Boy Who Cried Wolf thing should have happened where like the 5th time someone actually did die and I'd be like, I don't want to go see The Last Boy Scout. You're like, no, grandma's really dead. And I'd be like, no.
I remember I was driving home. I was going to drive home from college to go visit my parents. And my dad called me and was like, just wanted to check on when you're planning on leaving. Okay, drive safe. And when I got home, he was standing in the driveway and he came out to tell me that his best friend, who was a family friend, like someone I grew up with, had passed away that day, I think. And I always felt like, so when he called to see when I was leaving, he knew and he chose not to tell. And I understand why he chose not to tell me because he didn't want me to be, too upset to drive safely. But still, because I'm a person who I like to know bad stuff right away.
Right.
I don't know.
I have it. I'll bring it down for a moment.
I think I just did. So you
Well, no,
go.
I'll take that burden off your shoulders. My mother and my sister, who are both dead, were nightmares, and they were both drug addicts and gambling addicts. And like they would call anytime they would call, it was an instant sense of dread because you were like, what weird thing is it now where they're going to be like, can you go get this guy's boat? And then I got to trade it. And I'm like, what the hell? And I like when they died, I felt a sense of relief for that. And I don't have that sense of dread when the phone rings anymore. But, someone was asking me why I was so like consumed with Trump for the last 4 years. And I was like, dude, cause every day feels like the phone's ringing and it's my mother and my sister. And I'm like, what the fuck is it now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I never had like I've literally never had a family member call me like at work in the middle of the day and not have it be like, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like I would be super happy if they had called me and they were like, how do I reset a password? Whatever. But instead they're like, what's press charges mean?
Isn't it crazy that when this airs, we will have a new president?
By crazy, you mean, oh, so good.
So relieving. It's you're right though that it's tough to process. It's the that thing of I need to be worried about this is I think it's probably a little bit to still be worried about. But
That's what I was gonna say. Is that
But it's like the quarantine. You forget what we were like before.
yeah,
Like I'm like, what was my brain consumed with?
yeah.
All the time.
It's so true. You know what's similar to that is my parents just got vaccinated. And it is crazy how I hadn't even processed how scared I was, how utterly terrified I was. Every time I talked to them, and like we went to the grocery store and I would just like, and now, they're like, we went on a walk. I'm like, what'd you lick? Tell me, I want to hear it all. But it's wild. Like how much like, oh gosh, we've been thinking about a lot of stuff and been stressed about it, but not really have been, monitoring how much we're worried about it.
How did they get? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Everyone I know who's gotten the vaccine has said that they instantly just started crying.
I bet.
and were shocked. Like they were not expecting that reaction.
Right.
Because I think we're pushing down so much of the daily stress in order to just get through it. We're all kind of in survival mode. Renee, how did your parents get vaccinated?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So they are 70. My dad's 71, my mom's 70. So they're in the category of the wait list. But not in the, hey, you're in the pocket. So they had put their names on a waiting list, but because we don't have any of this organized, they got a caller like, can you get here in 10 minutes?
Oh, wow.
And they could. So I think there's a lot of, the waiting lists seem nuts, but you also might get if you can get here in 10 minutes, you can get it.
Right.
So
because they had I think it's like
waste the doses.
Right. It's stored in sub-zero temperatures. And then when they thawed out, I think it's only good for a few hours. Is that right?
5
So,
days.
yeah, something like that.
5 days it's good for from being thawed out.
Few hours,
really?
5 days. We were close.
Oh, so that's different than what I understood it to be. Okay.
That's
so
still
it's
not a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And they have to do it in batches too. So I think it's either 500 dose or 1,000 dose batches that you have to thaw out at a time.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we got to find 1,000 people in 5 days.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's interesting.
I would like to know more about the massive age difference between your parents. It's difficult.
This May-December
for,
romance.
for your mother to date an
Wait,
older
what did
man.
I say? What did I say this time? I meant to
71
say,
and 70.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I did say it right. Yeah. Can you believe? Can you believe?
Robbing the cradle.
I know.
Were her
They're
parents
pretty tight-lipped about it?
Were her parents like, what are you doing?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I feel like they're still not on speaking terms. It's
Grandpa
a disgrace
over
in the family. Why did I say that? Who cares? 6 years old, Renee. We get it.
No, it was
Hold
relevant.
on, let me get it right.
No, it was relevant to the age.
Yeah.
I was just being a jerk.
Phil Scroggs says, just mirror everyone. When I'm driving and a great song comes on, I use my left foot to play along with a bass drum tap. No.
Ask the drummer.
No, bass drum's right foot.
No.
I mean, unless you're a left-handed.
Yeah.
Which drummers aren't?
Do you do any sort of tapping, Tony?
It's one of those things that, like, I think it just happens involuntarily. So, like, I don't even realize. Like,
Steering wheel.
I've both been told that I don't do it as much as people think that I would for being a drummer. But then also there are lots of times when, like, I might just be, like, sitting and watching a movie with someone, and then they're like, "Stop!" And I don't even realize I'm doing it.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah. A Kimmy thing says, just mirror everyone. I think all the people who participated in the insurrection all look the same. I mean, I get that.
Regardless of gender?
There's one person. It's the Where's Waldo lectern guy. And everyone looks like him.
Oh, yeah. No, there was a lot of dumpy beard nerds.
Yeah. Do you guys let yourself think about, well, I guess to sort of hypothesize this, you also have to think that Trump thinks in a sane way at all. But do you think he looks at it and he's like, oh, those are my people. Uh-oh. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like he does have derision for his people.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I think he has derision for everyone that's not him.
Yeah.
But I also think he has that thing where he's like, yeah, look at these macho guys. Yeah.
Maybe.
Big guys, and they got hair. Like, because he's weirdly obsessed with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Even though I would say a good 90% of the people look like they work at a gas station, even though in reality, none of them could get hired by a gas station.
Right.
In what way would they fail the gas station test?
They'd walk in and someone would be like, no. They'd probably say something would be like, are we using that Arab gas?
Oh. Do we? I'm looking at the clock. No. Okay.
Is this a can of worms you don't want to open? Do you have a Pandora's box question?
It's a yes, please, or oh, please. And I was trying to see, do we have time to sneak one in? I don't think we do. Not today. It'll keep. It is highly seasonal. So it'll
We only have 5 days for it, though.
No, that's right.
Then it won't work.
That's right.
Then you got to be on a waiting list to answer.
I've got guests on a waiting list, so I'll call them.
Okay.
Can you click this link real fast? Okay. Todd Elway says, count steps in 5s. And I feel like maybe I already did this one. Will stutter step so that my gait lands on a multiple of 5 before reaching stairs or sitting down. Occasionally ones come in that are just so perfectly riding that line between whimsical and OCD. And I fucking love that. Because I relate. I do weird shit. I don't do that particular one.
I always, when I'm going downstairs, go down on the In the Air Tonight drum fill. So I go like, dun, 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 dun.
That's fun.
I always do it. And I didn't even know that's what I was doing until like I realized it one day.
That's really good.
Do you guys do weird number walking things?
5s. I definitely, when I'm tired and I'm working out, so I recall from 2004. I remember you like counting steps to try to get me through it, but as far as so I'd hit it at a certain spot. I guess not this specifically, but yeah. I like a counting thing.
I used to do that's reminding me of when I actually went to a gym in order to like make myself stay on whatever machine I was on longer. I would begin to count forward and back and forward,
right.
But I don't do anything like that anymore.
Yeah. I used to teach breathing that way too. You have to breathe in for 4, breathe out for 4, just so that you have a little bit, but it'll also go with your steps as well. Huh. But that's more of a cadence thing.
Oh, we know. I would like to say hello and welcome the new Patreon people and shout out the people who have upped their, who've subscribed, gone from like one level to another. And I messed up these names last time because I couldn't read my own writing. And I was like, Christina D, Christian D, who's who? Christian D upped his membership. Christina D upped her subscription. Her subscription. So we got Christian D and Christina D. They've both upped their subscriptions. And I'd like to say welcome to Rachel M, Joy W, Whitney C upped her subscription, and also welcome to L. That was really, I need to just streamline that. it was chunky like Tony's new
No,
dog.
but I'm like, everybody got the. Oh.
I mean that in a good way.
And by the way, I doubt the mic picks it up, but there's a very good chance that Allison Rosen is your new best friend now has a lot more snorting on every episode.
Should we all
not
be
since
quiet
the-
for a second and see if we can
the
hear it? Is it
cocaine
happening
years,
right
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
He's snoring on the floor.
Okay, let's try
right
it.
now.
Be quiet.
It got very quiet. When,
Can you
when
move
he,
the mic to him?
Yeah.
He's not doing it.
Wait, do
as
you
loud.
have that video? Can you play the video
I
of him
do.
snoring? Okay, do that.
Wait,
You should name him Dinty Moore.
Old Dinty.
Yeah,
Because that sounds regal as well.
I do have an excellent video. It's better with the visual, but this is some audio of him snoring. So
Oh.
Gonna sample that, make it into a hip hop song.
But yeah, yes.
very.
Do you
exciting.
guys,
The cute.
That's
If
so
you're like-
cute.
if you're like sleeping with your dog and you're like cuddling him like a normal person, do you ever try to sync your breathing up because it bothers you that you're on different breathing cycles?
Can
He'll
you?
also
Because they
move.
they
can't-
do fewer inhales
they're-
than we do. Yeah.
It's
And
very
also
difficult.
exhales. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're smaller. But it drives me crazy if they're not like.
Oh, he's really loud now. I think when I talk, it wakes him up.
Oh.
That's fair. That makes sense.
His master's voice.
Wendy snores really loudly too. I feel like I should get an audio of Wendy snoring. You should get an audio of Bentley or whatever his name is snoring. And then we should do something. We should put them together. And I don't know why, but let's just, then we
See
can
if
just
they
compare.
accidentally harmonize.
Yeah.
Make a snorus.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Great.
And if that somehow telegraphs something to the audience, it could be a Greek snorus.
Exactly.
Hey.
Are there any Great
I'm
dogs?
having a great time.
Greek dog.
It only takes one.
That's all
All
that
right.
matters.
I don't know if there's a Greek dog breed.
I'm sure there is. Right?
You'd think there was, but there would be, but I can't think of one.
No, and there's no dog. I've never seen a dog in Greece. Not one.
I've never been to Greece, but
I haven't.
therefore
either.
I also
That's
have.
probably why I
Oh,
haven't seen 'em.
yeah. I feel like if there was a Greek dog breed, Maria Menounos would own it because she's very into being Greek.
She is Medford, Mass's own Maria. She used to
That's
work
right.
at the Dunkin' Donuts I used to go to when I was growing up.
Really?
No kidding.
Did you ever see her there?
I must have, but I don't remember.
Wow. That's right. She worked at a Dunkin' Donuts.
Right near my
Small world.
Now
What a
you
look at
know.
her now. What a small world.
house. And look at me now.
Look at all of us now. And I don't know if I'm saying that in a celebratory or a remorseful, regretful kind of way. Bittersweet.
For some reason, I just keep thinking of Basenjis, which is not Greek.
No, I don't think it is.
Is there a Roman dog that stole itself from the Greeks?
Are there even Italian dogs?
Yeah, Iggy's, Italian Greyhound.
Oh, okay. Well, to be continued.
Yeah.
Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, I've already said it, but what's one more time? Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. If you would like to take advantage of a deal, sign up for a year. You can do an annual subscription and you get 2 months free. So it's 12 months for the price of 10. I'm on Cameo. Been getting lots of Cameo requests lately, and those are very fun. I love doing those. And I've got a book out, and I mentioned my Amazon shop, and youtube.com/Allison Rosen. Make sure you're subscribed and tell your friends. And please leave nice comments for this podcast. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you're subscribed and tell your friends about that too. And listen to Childish, my podcast with Greg Fitzsimmons. I have really got to just record this once and then have Tony put it at the end so that I don't have to remember all of it. Ken, where might we find you?
I'm at icanread.com, KENREID, tvguidancecounselor.com, TV Guidance, and at Kenneth W. Reed on all the things.
Yay. And Renee?
Yes, on Instagram, Renee S. Colvert, and then pretty soon on Apple Podcasts, My Pandemic Makeover Spectacular, coming out February 1st.
Cannot wait. Tony?
Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and my podcast Bizarre Albums every Tuesday. Oh, and also I haven't been saying it enough, but also the Don't Stop or We'll Die podcast, Song a Week every Wednesday. I'm just producing that, but I'm also playing drums on the new song every week. So yeah, that's it.
They came on. They came on I think it was a December 31st episode of this show. They are so fun, and they don't know this yet, but I'm going to see if they want to come back. And I don't know if they'll be available, but I hope so, because that was a really fun episode.
Yeah, they're
great.
some
They're so
wonderful boys.
They are wonderful boys. But you guys are wonderful boys, and Renee.
I'm a boy.
This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much. And Ken, thank you for doing it a little later than usual, because I know it's
Oh, yeah,
10:42 in Boston.
This is way past my bedtime, to be honest with you.
Oh, buddy.
Thank you guys so much. Listeners, you matter. Thank you for listening. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen is your new best friend.